This song, Last Night by Morgan Wallen, went straight to #1. So in this video, I want to unpack why. I want to have a look at this song, what songwriting techniques have gone into it to make it such a catchy and popular song. So to do that, I want to unpack the chords, the harmony. I want to unpack the story, and I'm going to have a look at the melody, which I think is really, really good in this song. And then I want to show you how you can write songs as powerful and as effective as this one. So let's get into it. My name is Craig Honeysett from Musician to Artist, from Musician to Artist. Craig Honeysett of From Musician to Artist might be the best way to put that. What I'm all about is helping musicians become recognized music artists, whatever that looks like for you, but it's just basically leveling up. So one thing I talk a lot about is songwriting. Actually, probably my best resource out at the moment is a free songwriting workshop. It's a 3-video series where you can just write a song with me and I show you everything that I know about songwriting. I reckon you'll get a ton out of that and hopefully write some better and more effective songs. So you can jump on that for free in the link below. Today we're going to have a look at Morgan Wallen. So this song is a 4-chord song. Some people hate 4-chord songs. Some people think it's amateur to just write a 4-chord song. You should be stretching yourself more. I think it works so well, and there's so many reasons that it works well. And this is evidence of it. Whether you like this song or not, whether you like country music or not, the fact that it went #1, everybody sings it, everybody's covering it, everybody's all about this song, says that there can't be too much wrong with a 4-chord song. It does work. It does kind of get stuck in your head, and it is good songwriting because it gives you so much room and predictability for your melody, which people can then connect with. So he's done a really good job there. B, D flat, E flat minor. They're the chords. And they're just those. It's not even a 4-chord song. It's a 3-chord song. So let's figure out. I might just play that on the guitar. And then he's got the... So he's tuned half a step down. So that little run there, at the end of every set of chords, every 3 chords, and then the 4th chord is kind of that run down. I think that's what kind of allows the song to get away with just being those 3 chords. There's a bit of flavor in there, there's a bit of movement. That little run changes at different times, but essentially we've got a 3-chord song here that just loops over and over. The next thing I want to have a look at is the story element of this song. So to do that, I like to have a look at structure. So I've kind of mapped the song out here. As you can see, I've written up my structure. I kind of do this whenever I'm writing a song or analyzing a song, is just have a look at the structure. How many bars, how many beats is everything? And then I've mapped out the melody here, which we're going to have a look at in a second because there's some really cool things he's done with his melody there. But story-wise, this song starts with the chorus, which is hard. So he's done easy and he's got 3 chords, but it's hard to start a song with a chorus because you're so damn sick of the chorus by the end of it. Normally you got verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. So if you chuck another chorus at the start, by the end you're like, come on. But what he's done at the end here to kind of break up these final choruses is not only really, really clever, but also allows him to put a hooky, catchy chorus right at the start and still maintain our attention the whole way through. So we've got chorus, or like an intro hook thing, which is also repeated throughout the song here, you can see. Chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then the little hook turnaround, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And now this one is where you'd normally be putting bridges. So the other thing that's difficult about starting with a chorus is you're going to add an extra 20 or 30 seconds to your song. So if you're writing a pop song, you're trying to get that to 3.5 minutes. You don't have time for a chorus at the start. So instead of writing another section and having a bridge here, what he's done with this song is lyrically changed the chorus. So we've got the same melody, same chords. He's just kind of giving a little bit extra detail in the story. And then he's gone to a little hook, and then he's just done a half chorus at the end. So when that kind of feels like it needs to go back to the chorus, he's just given the second half of the chorus, which again gives even more detail to the story. So it's more like a bridge, more of a kind of a twist in what's going on, and then finishes with that hook. So a little bit unconventional with the structure here, and that does start with the chorus, but very, very clever to not have a bridge in it and just alternate those choruses at the end to make it kind of flow and go through. I think that's really clever. I always try and steer away from starting with the chorus just because of those difficulties that I mentioned a second ago. So let's dive into some of the lyrics. So this is pretty classic lyric writing here. He's quite good at his storytelling. It's very much about how much girls love him, how much he loves girls, whichever way you want to put it. kind of always something to do with liquor in some way. So it's a very Morgan Wallen-y lyrics, but I want to look at what are the broad strokes of this song? So verse 1 kind of paints this really nice picture of the beautiful night they had. It's kind of passionate. She loves it. He's telling her that she kind of loves it. You know how good this is. And then that kind of makes sense when we go to that next chorus. That's like, we had such a good time. Surely this can't be the end. So that's kind of painting like a pretty good picture, but there is this air of like something's gone wrong here. And that gets explained in verse 2. So verse 2 is about kind of the breakup and how she leaves. He can see the tail lights in the dust, all those sorts of things. So we're now looking at that hook making sense. No way this was our last night. Kind of makes sense that she's broken up with him. But it's kind of the picture of you're doing it again. I don't really believe you because, and then that goes into the chorus. So that's really clever. We got a night with me is really great. And then the kind of first verse points to that night being great. Second verse says, you're going to go away, but why would you? Because a night with me is great. And then chorus 2, I've kind of labeled it chorus 2. It's just where he changes the lyrics I was talking about. So it's kind of the bridge, but it's where he changes the story. This is where he starts saying, you'll never leave. You always say you're going to leave. So he kind of reiterating what we've already, no way this was our last night. It's kind of reiterated in detail with these sorts of things. Like you've tried to leave. My friends tell me that I shouldn't be with you. Your friends tell me that you'd be stupid to leave me. Like always, we've got this big broad stroke picture in the chorus. Then the first verse kind of points to how does that chorus make sense? The second verse is going to pivot off that with a different idea, but then point back into it at the same time. And then the bridge is kind of the twist. So the bridge gives a different perspective, and then that has to be able to resolve back into the same chorus. So he's done that lyrically using the melody of the chorus here, but really, really classic, good songwriting. So in there, you want to look at all these sort of rhymes and imagery that he's painting. So one great thing about Morgan Wallen is all his imagery that he kind of paints with his storytelling style lyrics. So it's not so much creating or recalling facts or giving big statements or anything. It's kind of storytelling, like we did this, we did that, it was great, you felt like this, which is good. But fundamentally, the way that the storyline moves throughout this structure is pretty classic for a good solid pop song, and definitely something that I think you should bring into your own songwriting, is to kind of have that broad picture, point to it, pivot off it, point to it again, give a different perspective, and then point to it again to finish off. Super, super good lyric writing. So let's have a look at this melody. So this is where the rubber hits the road with this song, I reckon, because it's the thing that you just sing over and over. This song is always in my head. I'm not the hugest fan of country. I find myself putting that big country drawl on when I'm singing this song just because it's a catchy melody. And then my kids hear me singing it, so they're singing it. So why? I like to map out all my melodies on MIDI like I've done here, because it gives me, not only does it kind of define what notes are in the melody, but also is super handy with the rhythm. I find that really, really helpful. One thing about this song is those 3 chords that the song is, what do we say they were? There's only 3 chords and I can't remember. You got B, D flat, and E flat minor, but the key of the song makes that F sharp major, right? But F sharp major never happens in the song. We never actually hear that chord. But what's really grounding this song with the root note of the song, with the key, the tonic, whatever you want to call it, is this F sharp. So you can see that kind of runs pretty consistently through the chorus. It keeps kind of coming back to that. That's super clever. The song is in F sharp, but we're not using chords to ground that. We're using melody. The other thing I really like, I'll just play this for you here, Last night we learned the leg down. So we're going 1, 1, 2, and then over the 7, and then up to this. So this is kind of section A. So this is split up into 4 kind of parts. You got this section, but we said it all, and then you got this high section, and then you kind of ground that back. So it's kind of like A, B, C, B, if that kind of makes sense. So let's just have a quick listen to it. So that's kind of set up, a little bit of repeat, a little bit of familiarity there, but it is something new, it kind of hits new notes. And then this third section, that's when you want to bring change. So you do set up, repeat, and then you change. So here's when he brings in something kind of totally new by going right up to this 5 and 6 here. And then he grounds it back down, going back to the same sort of shape that he did for B. And then the hook. So what I think is great about this is round the home chord there, really grounding the fact that we're in the key of F sharp, so he's hitting that a lot. Then kind of just strays up a little bit, adds this B in so he hears something new pretty quickly. Then it goes back around the F, drops down into the 6th there. Then this third section goes up another level. So I love that in a chorus when it keeps like dropping every phrase. It is familiar with the rhythm, it's familiar with the feel, but it's bringing in new notes and giving you something kind of fresh to listen to. So going up to those high notes, especially when you can sing it with a bit of growl like he does when you get up there. And then it's really important to ground it and go back to where we were. That makes a really, really good chorus. So that's what he's done here. The other thing I think is really, really amazing about this melody is just the rhythm. It's like a pulling sort of bouncing feel. So it kind of took me a while to figure out what these notes were here. So see they're different lengths. So it's very, very straight. It's all around the 8th notes. His use of 16th notes is kind of what gives it some feel. So he opens up the chorus going, last night, to sort of long whole beat notes, and then from there it kind of moves to 8ths. But listen to these kind of 16ths, they give bounce and feel, and I'll show you what they're like if it's straight. See that kind of movement that comes off that? So if that's straight, I straightened one out here. Find that for you. So same notes, but if you remove that feel, it just doesn't have the same sort of roll to it without those 16th notes in there. I mean, either way, the melody sounds dumb when it's on a MIDI nylon string guitar. So I think that's one important thing in songwriting. If you're going to strip back a song and just make it super, super acoustic, not have lots of rhythm in there, not have lots of chords in there, you're going to have to bring all that tension in with your melody. So I think this is always the best way to write songs, is to use your melody to do all the things you want to do. So what Morgan's done here is he's used that to ground the key of the song. So by hitting lots of those F sharps, those ones, he's kind of said this is where the home of the song is. And then he's pivoted off that, keeps adding new things in the choruses, new notes, gives us new flavor. But all the rhythm comes from that line, all of the notes like I just mentioned, and then all of the tension also comes from this melody line. So if you can put all that into your melody, then the rest of the song just happens. Too often we kind of, there's a hole in our melody, so we try and fill that with other elements. We try and fill that with a tense chord, we fill that with rhythms. But the key to great songwriting, the songs that are going to go to number one, anything that's going to be a hit and people want to listen to over and over again, has all the songwriting elements you need written really, really well into the melody, and then everything else is a supporting cast for that. So I think he's done an excellent, excellent job with this song. Another thing that really interests me with this song is that there's so little production in there. It's really held back, really stripped back. And when I was just listening through the top charts, to hear that there's a number one song in there that doesn't have all the punch and all the production, it's just a really solid story, really solid melody, and just an acoustic track, but that can be at number one for however many weeks in a row. I was really fascinated by it, and I'd love to do the production and have a look exactly what's in there and what they've done. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, because I'd just enjoy doing that if you'd enjoy or get something out of it. So I mentioned at the start that I wanted to help you write songs like this. So I've got that 3-day crash course. So that's just going to show you all this. So how do we write those melodies? How do we write chords? How do you write rhythm? It's all in that crash course over 3 videos. I write a song with you. So join me for that. The first video is up on YouTube, so you can just click through that at the end of this video and watch that. If it interests you, then you can just access the other 2 videos in there for free. Everything that I know is in that, but it's kind of crammed in there. It's quite quick. If you want a hand-holding, step-by-step, I will show you absolutely everything I do and why. I've got a full course called From Singer to Songwriter, which is just exactly like I said. I unpack there's 9 different modules in there: rhythm, melody, chords, dynamics, structure, production. Everything's kind of in that course. So you can go from being not just someone who can write a song or two kind of whip out your acoustic guitar, write a song. But this course is about being a songwriter. So learning all the elements that go into a song so that you can be a songwriter and write song after song after song, because you've got a framework that you can work within. So that's what For Singer to Songwriter is. But if you just want to get started, jump on that free one. That will absolutely help you out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in another one real soon.